let's go capture entire screen. Okay, so step one is you need to draw the basic outline with the angles that you need, right? Does everyone feel like they're comfortable doing that? Yeah. Okay, so this is how. So then, of course, you're going to extrude it, that shape out, and so I'll quickly do that. And I don't know what's the width we're going to go with. 65, 60. Let's go with 60. Okay, so that's going to be kind of like that's the basic shape. So we're going to now use this shape to help us make a sheet metal shape. So we're going to now go up here to the sheet metal tool. And the first thing we got to do is we have to project part of this shape onto this new sketch. So I made a sketch. I clicked on the shape, and now I'm going to hit P. That turns on my projection tool. I'm just going to click on this, click OK, and now you can see that shape is projecting through onto my sketch. Okay, so now I've got a sketch that I can use to make a piece of sheet metal. So I'm going to go Finish Sketch. So now what I'm going to do is, this is the tool you want to use. It's called the flange tool. So I'm going to make my first sheet metal flange. I'm going to click on here, and it's you can see here it automatically makes the first part of my shape, right? And I'm going to just make it a new body for now. You could make it a new component. So I'm going to click OK, and now I'm having a hard time seeing the difference between that and my base shape. So what I'm going to actually do is go over here to Modify Appearance, and I've already done this. So I went to Plastic, and I'm just going to use one of the plastic colors. That just helps me see the difference. So that's my first shape. So now what I'm going to do is I need to go make a new flange, and I'm going to click right on the edge here, and I'm going to pull this out, because you see I'm now basically simulating bending the plastic, right? The angle's wrong, so I'm just going to go over here to my angle tool. I'm just going to make sure I angle it down so it's go in the direction I want, and then I can just pull it down. Now this part, there's probably a better way to do this than the way I know how to do it. But to get it to line up, right? This is set to go up and down in increments, and somewhere in the settings I'm sure you can change those increments. So if anyone figures that out, let me know. And that's probably the easiest way to do it. What I was just doing was going over here to the height and playing around with, so I know that it's 133 point something, so whoops. So it's maybe 133.5, 133.6. So it's probably 133.55, so that's close enough. So there's definitely a better way to do it, but that's the only way I know for now. Okay, so I've now done that bend, and you can see it's now bending it as if I'm actually bending some 3mm acrylic, right? Now I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get my flange tool. I'm going to do the same thing here. Pull this out. Now you can see here my bend is happening below my shape I'm using. So what I can do is go to my bend position, and instead of making it outside, I can make it inside. So now the bend position is on the inside. Okay, and so that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go OK for that one, and then I'm going to go get my final bend here. Pull this one down. This wasn't quite the same angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend it like that. And I'm going to go outside. And we'll call that good enough. Okay, so I've used the first shape to get my angles right. So if I turn off this first shape, but now I've now simulated a piece of bent plastic. That makes sense so far? So the cool thing about this is once you've got this piece of bent plastic, then you can go over here to the Create Flat Pattern tool. So what I have to do is, first of all, I've got to pick one face. So this is going to be the face that stays stationary, and then all the rest will get bent flat with it. So I'm just going to click on the back here and click OK. Oh, darn, I already made the flat pattern. Let's go delete that flat pattern. Okay, so we're going to go flat pattern, click on this, click OK, and it'll open the whole thing up. Okay, so now I can use this to make a new sketch with all the correct dimensions. So I go Sketch. I'm going to put the sketch right on top here. And now what I want to do, the first thing I'm going to do is click P, and I want to project the outside shape, and I want to make sure I project these bend lines in here as well, because then I'll know where to line it up when I put it on the line bender. Okay, and so now all I have to do is go get my corner rectangle, and it should just click onto the projected geometry, and then I can go and get my lines here, and I can just draw those in, and again they should connect to the projected geometry. And then if I go Finish Sketch, and if I turn off that, so now I've got a sketch that I can export. Okay, and I'll show you in another tutorial the next step, but what we're going to do is you're going to then save this as a DXF file. We can call this phone. And in order to be able to send this to Crinjut and get it laser cut, you're then going to open that up in Adobe Illustrator, but I'll do that as another tutorial later. So, are there any